Hey, Shalom Watkins, V'kamak Pasham, James London, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem HaChadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the whole forward X, pushing his truth in all sincerity. Back in with another video. I'm going to entitle this one, The Pillars of This World, or The Pillars of Wickedness, or something along those lines, right? And we got, I guess, some type of celebration, I guess you want to call it that, right? A remembrance of the great Christopher Columbus, okay, aka the devil, right? And they, they built these this replica ship that's being paraded around right now in celebration of Christopher Columbus and I guess his achievements and that. When we know that this guy was nothing but a damn murderer, right? Nothing but a damn devil, right? But this is the world that this is the kingdom this world is built upon. People like this that are elevated in this world, people are proud about, right? And you got that whole thing going on right now with these Edomites. They're tired of being shamed for their wicked past and their wickedness, and that they want to uphold the wicked things that they've done because they feel it was beneficial to everybody that they did these things. Which maybe I'll do another video another time on that specifically. But they're really trying to not be ashamed of all the wickedness that they've done, trying to justify all their wickedness. All right, but we got this boat here, right? So this is from secretlondon.com, right? So a 93-foot replica of Christopher Columbus' ship will sail into London this month, and Londoners can climb aboard to explore. A replica of the now Santa Maria will drop anchor in London later this month and act as a floating museum for visitors to explore. Right? If you're wandering around, blah blah blah. Right? Um, it says that's because one of history's most famous ships will soon be sailing into the city to a drop anchor. An impressive replica of the Christopher Columbus ship, the now Santa Maria, will arrive in London this May and welcome visitors aboard. All right, so yeah, it's famous. It's lauded. It's praised. It's celebrated, right? Um, it's an impressive marvel to gaze upon. So the ship acts as a floating museum, which offers Londoners a rare chance to step aboard history, providing a fascinating glimpse into the 15th century maritime life and the voyage that changed the world history. Right, this history, world history that he's so proud about. Going around over to the Americas and destroying a whole bunch of people and then stealing the land from people. Stealing land that didn't belong to them. Yeah, it surely did change the world. All right. Um, this paragraph here in bold says the awe-inspiring ships have been all around Europe and the United States. They visit almost 100 ports and welcome millions of visitors. Da, 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 da. All right, so yeah, so they got this boat floating around, in basically celebration of Christopher Columbus and his achievements. So-called page in so-called white history, right? But these are nothing but pillars of wickedness in which you've built this world upon, man. Okay, which is all going to be torn down and destroyed. All right. So I'm gonna get the scripture here from Psalms 12 and verse 8. So the wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. Christopher Columbus or Cristobal Colon, the Spaniard, right? Not Italian, the Spaniard, right? Was a wicked man. Okay, and did evil in the earth, right? And help establish America. For you so-called white people who stole the land. Okay, you're thieves, murderers and thieves, right? But like I said, you got white people right now, being proud of their actions. They don't want to be shamed no more, so they're proud about all these things that you might have accomplished over the over the peoples, right? But it's wicked. Okay, you are wicked and he's wicked, right? You're all wicked, right? And this is the problem that we have. The wicked walk on every side. The wicked are all around us, man. Right? Because we have pillars of society, pillars of this world, right? They're praised and they're exalted, lifted up. And this is why we live in an evil, wicked time. right? Because these are the people that are really, you know, looked up to, essentially, right? This is Proverbs 28 verse 4. It says, "They that forsake the law praise the wicked." Right? These men don't want to acknowledge that what they did was wrong. Like, these men were Christians. They knew the law. And all these all these so-called white people are supposed to be like Christians and believe in God and that. But none of these bloody idiots know the scriptures, right? But everything that you did was wrong and wicked, evil, right? And you deserve to be punished, right? There's no getting around all of that, right? You could talk about how we changed the world. We benefited all these people. We gave them trains and all this kind of manners. What and that is supposed to cost millions of people's blood just so you can achieve these things and basically benefit more than everybody else. It's not righteous, man. Okay, which goes to show that these devils, these whole white people, these Edomites are not righteous. They're not righteous people. They're selfish, man. They're wicked. Right? It's the day that forsake the law, because I say you knew the scriptures, you know what you're doing weren't right, but you wouldn't do it anyway, right? So for they that forsake the law, praise the wicked, right? You man, praise all these wicked people, uphold them, right? Justify yourselves by them, right? But such as keep the law contendeth with them, right? So we're out here telling you, man, everything that you did was wicked. The Lord's going to judge you according to it because you're not repented. You're not in a repentant state right now, for sure, for sure. They said you were trying to be bold about it now. You man are not sorry or remorseful. You ain't done nothing to make up for it. So, hey, we'll call you out. We'll say as it is, man. The Lord's gonna judge you, man. So we contend with you. Evil men understand not judgment, right? That's why everything that's happened to you, you don't understand why it's happening to you. You don't think you've done nothing wrong. You don't think you're deserving of the judgment that's coming upon this place, the destruction, the decay, right? While your kingdom's falling apart, you don't understand it, right? But it's the Most High's judgment against you, man. Evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek the Lord understand all things. And we understand perfectly why everything is happening the way it is. We understand, why everything is happening to us the way it has done, right? Because we sought the Lord, right? And the Lord opened our mind to all these things. Let us know, right? So it's no different, right? You Edomites, you're in that boat of judgment, right? For everything that you've done, you're going to be held accountable, right? Is what we're telling you, man. You don't like it. You don't like being shamed. You don't like being put on the spot. But the Lord is going to judge you for all the wickedness that you've done in the earth, right? And guys like Christopher Columbus is going to be nothing but a footnote in history, man. A wicked footnote in history at that, right? You're not going to be elevated. These characters, these men of renown in Esau's world, they're not going to be revered or nothing like that, man. These are going to be nothing but men of shame. Oops. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 12. It says, "Woe to him." 1 second. Let me read up a little bit. I want to read from verse 8, right? It says, "Because thou hast spoiled many nations," right? I say Columbus helped set America up for the so-called white man, right? Which meant the destruction of the natives, the Israelites that belonged to the 10 tribes that were over there, right? All that bloodshed that ensued when you went over there, right? And like you stole the land from them, right? So again, as we're going to get to, man, you establish that city with blood, right? That place with blood. So because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood and for the violence of the land and of the city and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that converteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house. So you deserve this shame. There's no escaping it. I know it don't feel nice, and that's why you're trying to justify it, trying to make yourself feel better. But everything you've done is shameful, right? Nothing to be proud of. Guys like Matt Walsh and these men on Great British News, GBN, I think the network's called. Trying to stand up for so-called white people and their heritage, and all this, all the things that they've done, the benefits they brought the world. No, it's nothing but shame, and that's exactly where it's going to stay. It's going to stay shameful, There was consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, right? And has sinned against thy soul, right? There's nothing you can do about it now, man. You got to just pay for it. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood. And that's exactly what you've done. Right? There's no justifying all of that. These things didn't belong to you. You had no business going over to the Americas and doing what you did, slaughtering the Native Americans, and the tribe. You had no business doing all of that. Okay, you really had no business being in England either. But that's another matter. But you had no need to go and sail over the Atlantic and whatever and do all of that, man. Spain and all these different places. These lands don't belong to you, right? So you had no business going over there and taking it for yourselves, right? Like I said, all Great Britain and Spain and all these places didn't belong to you either, right? Nothing but thieves. This is so I went from that. In Psalms 55 and verse 20, it says so the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords, right? So, Columbus, them guys all came as if they were peaceable people. The natives actually helped you out. They greeted you, right? They fed you, clothed you, and took care of you, man. And all you do in return is backstab because you're a serpent, right? And if they knew better, man, they wouldn't help no serpent, right? Because that is the nature of a serpent, man. They're gonna bite you, right? They didn't know, they didn't understand, right? On the surface, you seem like you was peaceable people, but the whole time, you scheming of taking them down and taking their land, right? That's what you did. Okay. So again, words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart, man. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. He was always looking to take, and nothing was gonna stop him, man. He didn't care about you, man. You got children, and he didn't care about none of that, man. It's Micah chapter 2, verse 2. I'm going to start from the top, right? It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand, right? And they covet fields. Well, who gave them that power? Because the Most High basically gave the world into the hand of Esau, right? And this is why ultimately, he'll call it manifest destiny, right? We was ordained to do this. Yeah, you was, right? But not to your benefit ultimately. Right, yeah, you're gonna get your rulership over the earth, and you're gonna run this, this global empire you got, this kingdom that you got right now, man. But you was all gonna end in fucking tears, man, because your ambitions and your goals were not righteous, man. You didn't; these things were not done out of love, like you claim, right? Because you Christians, it's all about love, love, love. You Christians went there and murdered a whole bunch of people, man, and that's all you've ever gone and done around the world, right? Fake Christians, man. All you was bloodthirsty land grabbers, man. You know. So yeah, the Most High set you up for the fall, right? Verse 2, and they covet fields, right, and take them by violence, right? And that's what you do when you into America, right? And houses and take them away, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil. And this is why these Edomites, man, the Edomites, they're the people of the Lord's curse, man. Right? They got great judgment waiting them. And this is why when you read it, Esau going to be done away with completely, utterly, with no remnant. Right? No one else faces that type of judgment in the scriptures, man. All these other nations, man, they're going to get their ass whooped, man, but they're going to be around. Esau's going to be removed from the earth. Right? You are the children or the people of the Most High's curse. All right? This is Nahum chapter 3, verse 1 says, woe to the bloody city, right? Whoa, not like this American dream, this Edomite empire, this rulership that you got is not gonna last forever. Right? And it's not meant to, right? Per the word of the Heavenly Father, right? Again, you can call that manifest how things are supposed to end up. Right? This man's kingdom is crumbling, right? And it's gonna stay crumbled until it's gone. All right. So woe to you, destruction to you. Because why? Because you established your kingdom on blood. Right? These nations on blood. So woe to the bloody city, it is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not, right? All these things are still in your possession, man. You don't give these back to, give these lands back, or you ain't done shit. Okay, you've stayed on this train of wickedness, man. Right? Let me read on. So the noise of a whip and the noise of the rattling wheels and of the prancing horses and of the jumping chariots. The horsemen lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain and a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favoured harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. Right? This is America. Right? These Edomites in America, right? Behold, I am against thee, saith Lord of hosts. I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. I will shew the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. And this is why the shameful spirit is coming upon America and these Edomites, man, for all the wickedness that they've been doing in the earth. Right? The Most High is revealing these things, man. The Most High haven't it been spoke about. Right? Having people badmouth you now. Right? Because you've been wicked and every nation knows it because you've done evil to all these nations. Right? And you're trying to act like, oh, what you did wasn't wrong, or wasn't bad, or wasn't evil, or wasn't wicked. Oh, you've benefited from, from all our endeavors. So what? You think it's righteous what you did? You think destroying a whole bunch of people and stealing land is righteous? It's not righteous. Right? So you're gonna get judged. Who gives a fuck? Oh, you have trains now. You got cars. Like fuck all that, man. You still did the crime that is irreprehensible. That you have to pay for. The Most High is gonna make sure you pay. Right? You can frame it however you want. You can justify it however you want to justify it, man. The Most High ain't justifying it one little bit. Right? The Most High ain't said, oh, because you gave them cars, you gave them jobs or whatever. The Most High ain't doing all of that shit, man. That ain't part of the judgment. Right? What you did, well, that's not in the law, But if you can murder a man, but if you give him a car, give his descendants, a car in the future, everything's blessed. Bro, it's oh man, it's ridiculous. The reason of these Edomites is fucking actually ridiculous. But anyway, as I might do a separate video on that. We'll see. The Spirit allows it. Where was I? Yeah, verse 6. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee vile, and I will set thee as a gazing stock. Right? And again, you ain't giving no more. When the missiles hits, man, hits America and destroys it utterly, man. You ain't gonna be nothing but a gazing stock, man, because everyone's gonna be fucking shocked. Right? But everyone's gonna know, like, yeah, well, these men want some madness. They're gonna be like, yeah, I kind of see it still, right? Because you were doing craziness. The whole place is set up on blood and witchcraft, man. Vileness. All right. But just one more before I close out. It's from Isaiah 14. And I'm gonna start from verse 16 here. Or verse 15. It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake kingdoms? That made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof and opened not the house of his prisoners. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. Who are thy people? Who's thy people? These are the Lord's people, the children of Israel, right? Because you had us in slavery, man. And like I say, you destroyed thy people. You know the Gadites and the other tribes that were there. You destroyed us, man. Right? Slaying thy people, the seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Right? So here is you man are praising Columbus, and Trump plans to, uphold Columbus Day and all this fucking stupidness. Right? You want to exalt these men, right? Because it's your kingdom. It's a wicked kingdom. You're going to exalt these wicked men, and that just goes to show you the world that we're living in. It's just so full of wickedness, right? But these men are not going to be remembered, okay, in the kingdom. These men are not. These men are not going to be revered at all, right? These are fucking nothing but demons, okay? Demons, right? That have no future, that have no remembrance, right? Because we ain't gonna uphold pillars of wickedness in our society, you know. Oh yeah, he yeah, he was a slave owner, but you know, but he did so much for the community. No, for white people, yeah, maybe. He gave the charity, and but he had the Lord's people in slavery. You think that equates, like, you think that's equal? You think you can just have Most High's children in slavery, and just, but he did charity work for his own people, and you think that's acceptable? You had the Most High's children in slavery, bro. That's grave, man. That's so fucking grave. There ain't nothing you could say or do to justify that. Oh yeah, but I did this. I did this. You fuck off, man. You're gonna pay, right? You're gonna pay. It ain't gonna be none of these fucking statues or these boats being built to commemorate you and all this fucking madness, man. So anyway, I'm gonna end it there. Lord, this has been edifying, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video. Until next time, I say shalom.